Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. This is the second time we are trying to record. The first time we had like 30 minutes of discussion where we had good discussion, and then like my dumb ass didn't record as usual. But today we are going to talk about the 5-0 game that we won against Forest recently. I know this is a very late review of the game, but still, like, hopefully we have more points to talk about. And with that out of the way, I've got Arun back with us. Hi, Arun.
Hello.
And Ellen coming back after quite some time. Hi, Ellen. Welcome back.
Hi, Professor. Hi, Arun.
Hello.
It's good to be back, guys.
Pretending to be, starting this discussion once more is much difficult than what it was in the first place. But with all that out of the way, I would like all the listeners, to like, share, subscribe, comment in anything, like, what you want us to discuss about. And thank you for putting up with us, because I know we have not been very what do you call it, regular with our things, but we would try to be. But let's start the discussion about this game. I'll start with your own 5-0 good victory at home, but is it giving you the vibes that this is the game that kind of, what Arteta has been mentioning as
Let me shoot that right back at you, because you were the one who was doubting the gameplay. You were saying that we were falling off the blocks because you were the one who was negative. Let me shoot it right back at you. Did it reinforce any belief in what we are trying to do right now? Did it reinforce your belief in the team?
I mean, I never lost belief in the team. I just thought, like, I still feel that this is a very, very good purple patch that we are going through. I don't know if this is our level yet. This is where this is our normal level yet.
You non-believers, man. This is not our level yet. I don't know what more you guys want. This month we won like 8 games. We played 6-1-1. That's a record. And you're telling me that you do not know if this is the level that we could play at. I do not know what you expect from a bunch of 20-year-olds, man. But come on, this win.
I'm not saying I'm not happy with it. I'm very happy with the results. I'm very happy with where we are. I'm able to see where we are going and stuff. But is this going to be our our same level of performance all through the season? I don't know.
Okay, that's a very good question then. I do not think any team at any point would be able to maintain the same levels through 38 games.
Manchester City.
Manchester City are trying, but they're not winning. If that's the case, they would have won all the 38 games in the season. No one can do that. If what you are saying is like, oh, we need to maintain our levels every game, which means that we convert not even the losses to draws to wins, losses to wins, draws to wins, right? That doesn't happen for any team. And yet, when you did cough, I heard a Manchester City in there, and you know the levels that we are far away from them. Like the amount of experience, the amount of gameplay, the amount of game time is all required for this team to get to that level. So in that sense, we are converting losses to draws and draws to wins right now. So for me, if you ask me if this is the level of a team, yes, this is a really good level for a team. I would not call it a purple patch. A purple patch is what we had under Emery, when we didn't know why we are winning, how we are winning. No, but we just kept winning. And when we were found out, we started losing. This is very different. Like every game, we are practically doing the same thing. Whatever the opposition is, we are playing the same way. It doesn't matter if it is a Nottingham Forest, if it doesn't matter if it's a Liverpool, it doesn't matter if you're playing Bournemouth away or like, another like Crystal Palace away. The gameplay that we are seeing is the same. And this is like a vindication of that, because like all those who were suspecting the drop in levels or the drop in gameplay are calling it a purple patch. I hate it when people call it a purple patch. A purple patch is temporary. Okay, this is not temporary. We are seeing everyone wants us to fail, and every game we are winning. And this game probably was the response that you or me as an Arsenal fan would have wanted, given what Arteta said about like bouncing back from a defeat or a setback. This is the kind of response that you need. It shows me that the team is not just like trying to win a game, but trying to dominate games. And domination doesn't happen as a purple patch. Domination is something that's continuous, and we've been seeing that on the pitch. It's not like you see the team play a different way against another team where they were not being. Yeah, PSV is a one-off. PSV has to happen. We were not having the same players. We were not players were fatigued and all that. It's a certain number of games that every team is playing in this month, 8 to 9 games. The only problem with us we have is that we have not the squad, which is like 25, 26 people. We have a lesser squad than that. And more importantly, 2 or 3 people who could have replaced them are injured. Given all that, I really don't see any reason why this win should like not make you be more happy than you are. I was like jumping for joy, especially given the kind of performance that we have, and Reece Nelson coming in after such a long time.
I'll get back to you about Reece. I think you would have your time in the sun, especially after this performance. But before that,
for sure. But that's the thing for me. Like if I were to conclude, I would say fantastic win. Very happy with what I saw on the pitch. Very happy with the application of what we've been talking in terms of like theory. This is how we want our team to play. We keep talking like we have to pass out from the back. We have to like get these triangles, have the time, beat low block teams. Nottingham Forest didn't come out to win there. Nottingham Forest is a low block team, and we struggle against low block teams. And now we are having a set pattern whereby we scored 4 goals in a single half against a low block team that did not want to play. So this is like it was really, really good to watch. Very happy with the win.
2 things, Ellen. Like first thing is like this is a home game. The expectation out of a home game for a top 6 team is that we will win it. So that is one side of it. So should we be taking a lot of a lot out of this game, out of this victory, or not? That's one side of it where I am the cynic. The other side of it is what I see is previous Arsenal teams under Wenger or under Unai Emery or under whoever it is. We have always never went for the jugular. If we would have scored 3 goals, we always would have been like, okay, let's manage the game by now. Like after now, we would never have gone for like 4 goals, 5 goals. Even after 5th goal, we were trying to score more. We were trying to go for the 6th. We were trying to go for the 7th. That is new. So how do I put these 2 things into my mind? Like, okay, it's a home game. Should I take a lot out of it or not? The other side of it is like, oh, we are doing something that we have not been doing, that we as an Arsenal fan want Arsenal to do it. So this victory, how does this this come into your brain?
Okay, just to say, like a home game, like the team has to win. Like very recently, Van Dijk lost his first home game. Like that is the level of competition that is present in Premier League now. See, there was one Twitter thing which I saw, like a Manchester United supporter came and said, like the teams Manchester United has played or won, right? Like they are all like top teams than them based on the ranking. Whereas Arsenal have like defeated more of the bottom team. But the reality is Arsenal is always at the top this season. So like the bottom teams only they can defeat.
It's not our mistake that we are at the top of the table and everyone's below us.
Like, just to say, right, like say we are not only winning in our home game. Like say the Southampton draw was the first draw after like very long back with Arteta. He was either winning or losing. So it was like we are not playing even for a draw anymore. Like to answer, like I'm trying to answer both your questions together. We are not at all playing for draw anymore. Like we always try to win, whatever be the things. Like even if we are going to lose because of trying to win, we are ready to do that. That is the team we have been like built. And regarding like your purple patch as well as like the expectation from the team, the thing here is like when we started winning first 2-3 games, it was said like it was just 2-3 games. Then like they said like you are yet to face teams like Spurs, Manchester United, Liverpool, everybody. We defeated them also, and then like they said like City started slow, they will come back. Now City is playing really good, but still like we are the top of the league. Like you cannot be top of the league like after 14 games if it is going to be a purple patch. There is something that is happening because of that only we are top of the league. We won't be like City because we don't have players like that to score 5 goals every game or 4 goals every game. But we are grinding out results like 1-0, which is like not a purple patch victory. A purple patch victory is like even if you play bad, like there will be few lucky goals or anything. Those goals are not lucky goals. Like say the 1 goal victory, like where Saka scores a blinder, that is a goal like which he tries to score and he didn't go for deflection or anything. So that is what this team is doing. On the same hand, right? Like when Arun was saying about no team goes to it, he was saying about City. City hasn't won Champions League, even though they had all those people. And even if you take this 9 match period, right, which where our players had fatigue, City draw a Champions League game 0-0 against a very low team. Like they were expected to beat convincingly, they draw 0-0, even with all those superstars. That is the difficulty because, like, when you play 9 games, right, like in a month, it is very difficult. Normally, you play 4 or 6 games, and nine is like too huge. And like not only nine, the previous months also you had like a lot of midweek games. So when you put all of these together, right, players doesn't have rest at all. So even the big teams will fail on all of that with a very like limited squad members also, we are still punching above our weight and like we're still retaining the table. See, Nottingham City people were saying like it's just like a bottom team or a relegation team, and at home we are supposed to be. That team has just defeated Liverpool 1-0. Like they are in a purple patch where they were like winning 3-4 games like 1-0 or like drawing the game 0-0. Like they were not conceding goals. They were like defensively getting better, and like we scored 5 goals against them. Same happened with Fulham. Like see, many teams like they might be playing bad now, but like the first 3-4 games where we defeated them, right? Like they were actually playing well. When we defeated Aston Villa, we were saying like they were bad, but that same Aston Villa played and defeated City. So it's like no game is like easy game in Premier League, at least like compared to the other leagues. Even a 20th place team can defeat the number 1 team of Premier League. That is the competition that is happening, at least for this season. Maybe because of fatigue or whatever be the reason, every big team is like dropping off. But like we are still fighting that, and we are still like doing. I want to add one thing. Like any of you'll be talking about Reece Nelson, just to say like Arteta knows what he is doing. If you see so far, right? Like Arteta used to like play Fabio Vieira, or like he will bring on
Eddie.
Nketiah and move like these. But like they were all on the bench, but he replaced Saka with Nelson. He knows what he is doing. It was not like a calculated, you can say a calculated risk maybe, but it was not something like by luck he sent Nelson and like he didn't have an option, so he sent Nelson. It was not like that. Nelson was actually like coming back from injury too. So he knows what is happening in the training ground and everything, and that is what you are seeing there. And rightly you said like our own fans right now expect a lot of things from this game team. Like they will be expecting 3-0 wins, 4-0 wins. Like they are not happy with 1-0 or 2-0 wins.
But again, that's
This
not
is where
going to
you're
happen every game. No team can do that either, you know.
But okay, so now that we are here, anyways, Ellen has brought us here about the team selection and like substitutions and everything around. Quickly touch upon the starting lineup, especially the Tomiyasu versus KT debate. Now it's been going on in the Twitter space, in all the social media platform, that KT and Shaka are the only 2 members remaining from the previous regimes, and this is somehow playing into the way how he is treated, with Tomiyasu getting onto the left back rather than KT given a chance there. Do you accept any of these allegations, or do you think no, this is all like stupid, this is just in-game management stuff?
Is that a question for me or for Ellen?
Yes, for you.
For me, yeah, since we want to keep this short, I would just say I see this just as a game management thing. Like, you know, the way in which we are playing these players is like, we had 3 players who could possibly play at left back in Zinchenko, KT, and we've discovered the 3rd player to be Tomiyasu. Right? Tomiyasu played in the Premier League game because it was probably like a horses for courses thing against Salah. And he was extremely effective at it. Not saying that KT wouldn't have done that. He's done that before in the past as well, keeping Salah quiet. But again, KT also has this unimpressive injury record. We saw how that played out last season when the dude like refused to report a possible injury that he had, continued on playing. And then like, you know, was out for a long period of time when we really needed him the most, which resulted in like Nuno Tavares coming in and like messing things up. I don't want to slate him, he's young, but like that's what really happened at that point. Yeah. So for me, I just see this as a very good move by the team management to manage KT's minutes. He does get to play in the Europa League, albeit against lower ranked oppositions, but that's not the only games that he's playing, because he does get game time against all the bigger teams as well. When we are playing in the Premier League, he does come in and play at least 15 minutes each game. That's keeping him happy. That's keeping him match fit more than anything, and avoid any freak injuries. And at the same time, we got this gem in our hands in the form of Tomiyasu, who's very highly rated, highly coveted by other teams. We got him for a cheap. You want to keep him as happy as well. When we did get Zinchenko and we did start playing, there was no need for a Tomiyasu because Ben White was playing so well. But then this has actually given us an opportunity in Zinchenko's absence to actually give adequate playing time for everybody and keep everyone happy. That was reflected in the interview that KT gave as well, saying that he spoke with Arteta and it was like a thing about tactical and strategic change rather than a performance change. And if you really compare what those three have done, whenever they've played, they've all put in at least 6 on 10 performances this season. They've all been average or above. And if all the players are playing 6, then that's bad. But if in a team where everyone is playing at a 7 or 8 and one player is playing at 6, this is not going to bother us a lot, because the remaining players are going to cover and make sure that 6 doesn't affect the game as a whole. So given all these reasons and how I see this as a main game management thing. I actually really like how they're doing this, making sure that everyone gets playing time. No one is rusty when they come into a game. And as a result of that, could possibly suffer another injury when you're not match fit. So this is happening really well, in my opinion. And as we keep going, there are going to be more games. There are going to be FA Cup games. There are going to be Carabao Cup games. And we've seen that we're not really playing the 18 or 19-year-olds and even in Carabao Cup games like we used to under Wenger. Everybody is getting a chance. Probably the 18-year-olds will be a part of the team with these older players. Yeah. Not something that we're doing in Europe. So given all of this, I don't like it when they start talking about a player's position being under threat when we're just 10 games into the season. It doesn't make any sense to me. You have 38 games in a Premier League season, plus Europa, plus all of these competition. Nobody's place is under threat. Nobody's place is certain. So when we're thinking about things like this, it's probably if you say Saka is probably the only player whose place is certain in the team, right? Everyone else can be swapped out. Saka also because there's not a lack of due to a lack of replacement. So I would say this is a great way to manage their time, manage their minutes, keep them in shape, and not get them injured. So I love what the team management is doing.
Getting back to the sorry,
sorry to interrupt you, because Arun talked about the game management thing. But there is 2 tactical aspects for this also. One is if you see Ben White, right, even though he plays in right back, when on Zinchenko goes for his attacks and everything, right, he becomes a third CB.
Third centre back, yeah.
So we play 3 centre backs. So now what has happened is Saka was initially marked out. So Martinelli had license to attack and he was free to roam everywhere. And nowadays, right, team has started focusing on Martinelli also. So we cannot just depend on Ben White staying back. Ben White has to go and support the attack also. You could see now he's overlapping Saka more also. So what happens there is you are losing your third CP, in counters or the other defensive things. So Tomiyasu playing as left back, right? Tomiyasu, before he joined Arsenal, he was a centre back. He knows how to play centre back too. So he becomes the third CB when White goes into attack. So now that creates more chaos. So this is one tactical aspect why Tomiyasu plays there. The second aspect is in Europa League, right? Our main 11 I have only 2-3 players playing there. And if you see, most of them will be either the defensive midfielder or the central midfielder or the
wingers,
centre backs. Wingers also it gets rotated. Marquinhos, when he's fit, it is Marquinhos, Fabio Vieira, they all get rotated. So we don't have the same kind of attack which we have it in the Premier League. So Tierney playing there, right, who is more attack minded than Tomiyasu, helps us out there. So our team doesn't get much weaker even in Europa because of Tierney playing there. So in a way, right, it's a compliment to Tierney. And the tactical reason is why we are playing Tomiyasu in Premier League. The thing is even Tierney came up and said that he knows why he's not playing and it is because of tactical reasons. We thought that was to mitigate Salah alone, but in reality it might be this a broader picture like this, and Tierney is happy because of that.
Okay, but Helen, I'm gonna bring you back for the game about the goals we scored. We have been getting this, like, scoring in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. Whenever we do that, we always get that, confidence boost. We have a way in the team just transforming themselves to have more confidence, to play on the front foot and stuff. That ball from Saka, we know that what Saka can do. All the others know what Saka can do, but he still does it. There is no one who can stop him. That ball from Saka was absolutely brilliant, and that the finish from Martinelli putting his head there was really good. In fact, I think it was the Nicholas Jower, our set piece coach, who said Martinelli was the strongest header out of our all our forwards, which we have kind of lost a little bit of Martinelli. Like, when he used to play, when he broke into the team, he did a lot of headers and stuff. But off late, that part of his game I thought was missing a little bit. But good to see him score that kind of goal.
See, I'll say one other thing there. You are missing that header is because, earlier, right, we just send crosses and hope something happens.
Yeah.
Now we are playing like a proper football, and because of that, like the header chances are less. But Martinelli has grown to a different level now. He's actually, like, I can say, like, he's the best winger in the Premier League for this season at least. He's playing in that level, and the important
That's a
thing
very
is,
high
right, like,
praise. Very
yeah,
high
this
praise.
season. See, this season. That is why I said this season. I'm not saying the players caliber or anything, just like based on this season's performance alone. And if you see, right, we like got the ball and very quickly, right, like we like moved from this side to that side. And like
Tomiyasu.
again, to Saka, and like from Saka to again, like it came like towards like this side. Like Saka was not coming in or anything. It was a quick cross here also, and Martinelli headed it. See, all this happened in a very quick, and like this is something, right? You cannot happen on its own, like unless the team practice day in day out with a proper strategy, because like they know where the other guy will run. They know like where like very few instances where we miss like passes because the other guy would not have run. We always pass to the area where like so it is more like if you remember when Arteta joined when we were starting initially with the process and everything, he said the team has to do without even thinking the pass has to go there, like they have to it has to come naturally for them. That is coming to this team, and that is why the things are happening. And regarding your other thing, right,
Wait,
you said,
before you
yeah,
go on, I just wanted to like quickly ask you this, quick reply about like Saka's injury and stuff. I feel that Saka is being targeted, and we know that he is being targeted. Although there will be like other team fans who would say like, no, 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 and stuff. But he is being targeted, and referees are letting him being targeted. I feel that referees are not smart enough to understand rotational fouling, because that's what people are doing, and they should be called out, is what my thoughts are. Do you think, and also the other part of it is like referees think that Saka dives for some reason, which I don't understand how that thought process came about. But what
okay.
are your thoughts on like
Okay,
this?
one thing is even Arsenal does this rotational foul, so that's a common tactic every team uses. So we cannot say that is wrong. But the thing here is, like, say, except for a person named Kane, referees will not support. Like it used to be Rooney before. Referee will not whatever Rooney does, referees will not even check whether it's a foul or not. Like whether it's something happens to them, they'll come and protect him. It's the same thing to Kane. See, there's no bias or anything. The reason being, like, say, we know how much Saka is needed for Southgate. Even if Saka needs to play as a goalkeeper, all the other players are positions are filled, Southgate will play him. So in that case, right, like the FA will have to, let's say, if the referees are not taking action, they will make sure they are strictly bond. But these rotational fouls, right, every team does, and as you rightly said, like since Saka is our important player, every team targets Saka. It's actually like a prize for Saka, or like it shows like Saka has gone to the next level. Even for him, it's like a confident booster because like now more than two people coming and marking him. People are regularly hitting him. See, some low block teams, right? They go to a next level of hitting, so injuries are what to say, like bruises and other things will happen. But that is part and parcel of like Premier League games. I will not say like it happens in the other leagues, but in Premier League, right? Like people used to say, even Messi, he has to come and play on a cold night in Stoke because this is common in Premier League. So I agree that Saka is targeted, but like I'm not saying that referees are like because if referee has to like be biased, right? They have to save him because England is going to play a World Cup very soon, and like they don't want their main player to get injured and be out of that World Cup.
Mhm.
So like they will have to be very careful on that
Yeah.
thing. So I won't say it's a bias, but like I'll say like he's targeted definitely.
But Arun, getting back to the game, I was holding this in for you to come in, but
Reese.
none of us really at that moment, like Ellen said, none of us really thought that it was going to be a Reese Nelson who's going to come in, because from all the moments we have seen, we have always expected. I was expecting Fabio Vieira to come in, or
Or a
maybe an Indian.
Marquinhos, even probably because like Arteta
It's a
wants a
wing.
left-footed player on that
Yeah,
side to
yeah,
play
yeah.
from the right.
But
Yeah.
whatever. But I was thinking, like, I was never thinking Reese to come in, a player who has, who has been rated so highly, who was considered the buddy to Sancho, who was considered better than what Sancho did in his time in Germany, and all those things. It's difficult for a player to come in to this team after going through all those things, to come in and play the way he did. So, I would let you do all the praise for Nelson at this point and about his two goals.
Yeah, to start off with Reese, like this is something that I've been wanting for him for a long time. Like you said, the quality was always there, and it was known as well. He's like one of the most highly rated players to come out of the academy. He was the original star boy, if you remember. He started playing from Wenger time. The problem was that he could not get a starting spot at the time that he was here. So he had to go out. And even his loan spells were fantastic. We always had like great reviews from his loan spell. But right now he's in the team in a spot where whether you take the left, there's Martinelli and Smith Rowe ahead of him. You take the right, there's Saka, who's probably like the only player in the team who is like not going to be like, uh, there's not going to be any threat to his position. Probably that's the only player that we can say. So when your chances are very few, it sort of becomes imperative that you try and impress the manager as well as the fans in every single game that you play. Also, because you are coming in place of two players who probably are on the way to get to the peak of their games, like like a Martinelli at 22, a Saka at 21. These are kids who are like upping their levels with every single game. So given that, I would say like for Reese to come in and like seize the chance that he did, the first goal, fantastic. The feint that he did to take the ball and taking two players out, fantastic. That's not something that you would expect from a player who's had a layoff and coming back and playing a game after a long time. And the way in which he stopped and the composure for him to like actually score the goal after the rebound, he wanted to score that goal. Like there was no second measures. It was not like, oh, I will try. No, it was like, I will score this goal sort of a thing. Same thing with the second goal as well. Very opportunistic. It's the kind of place that you wouldn't expect a right winger to be in. It was like right in front of the goal, and Jesus was the one sending the ball in, and he was there. So it was like more of, I would say, a second striker or an attacking midfielder sort of a goal where you expect them to be in the box in that position. Reese wanted to score, and he gave an assist on top of that as well. For me, I was really happy. It felt like someone, like a part of your family doing good for your club that you support, and it was like really a proud moment for me having supported, like not supported him in the sense like I didn't follow him as much as like another ardent fan would have in terms of like what he was doing at Feyenoord or what he was doing at like Hoffenheim when he was playing. But there still was a lot of evidence in terms of what he did there to show that he is a really good player. And to see him here doing this match was really good. Now, what I want him to do is continue on this and then go on and score, like get better performances, which would give the assurance to both people at the club and the fans that, yes, this kid is good. He's going to be staying with us and he's going to be doing the job for us. Right now, this performance was good, but it's very isolated. We want more performances like this. And that's what would give us, like, the final thing that say, yeah, Reese has finally reached his potential. But the signs are there. More games, more game time for Reese, more power to Reese.
Ellen,
Because
from
I
a
think,
FPL point of view,
before you,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and before you go into that, like I think you have to take a separate episode for Arun and his curiosity, or like you can say craze on the right wingers.
Right wingers,
Just to
yeah.
keep
Pepe,
Pepe,
Reese.
Nelson.
Pepe, Reese, yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah.
But Ellen, there were few people who actually captained
Yes,
Reese.
yes. Reese has actually tweeted that like there were two people who actually captained him in FPL. Like say, taking him in FPL itself like very going to be very rare. And the captaining him is like even going to be. I think like even those two people, right? Like my brother used to do it in FPL. What he does is like he will have like this captain as a non-playing person, so that the other person whom he wants to captain, right, his points will come only at the end as captain point. So maybe they might have done that, but like what they've got as return gift now is like Reese is going to send him a signed jersey to both of them because like they trusted him more.
That's awesome. Quick question, last question of the day. I think because we don't have a lot of time, but I want very quick answers from both of you. Are you concerned with our striker not scoring
Ellen, I'll let you take it.
in a 5-0 win? Jesus has not
I think
scored.
like yeah, but like if you see right, like I think this is goals per assist. If you take in total, I think it is just one or two less than Holland. And Holland, we are like celebrating. Everybody is celebrating. They are saying even in FPL, Captain Holland, and like forget about it. That's the way he's playing, and like just like one or two goals is like less to him is what this performance, and like just because like 2 3 games he hasn't scored, like we are saying him like he's gone really bad kind of thing. Even these games, right? Like the amount of press he does, they actually opens up a lot of avenues for our wingers. He does a lot of things. Yes, he hasn't like scored in the last few games, but I expect that to get like turned very quickly.
Yeah, the
Uh,
same thing for me. I mean, like for me, yeah, we were talking about, like I said, that was one of the things that we were using to sort of justify his place in the position, even when he was not performing well. Of course, that went on for too long, and Eddie could have started much earlier. But when you look at really what Jesus is doing versus what Lacazette is doing, Lacazette's job was there in the midfield, and by the time he was never able to come back to the box. Jesus is almost always in the box. He's like having what 20 touches in the box every single game. And like the number of shots that he takes was like I think he's taking like 3 shots or something every single game. The thing is, yeah, you do want your striker to score goals, but when in a 5-0 win, when everyone else is scoring goals and the striker is being a person who can get everyone together to score the goals, he'd had 2 assists. It doesn't like, I mean, like the touch that he took for Nelson's second goal, that was like a divine touch. Not a lot of people are able to do that in that position in the box. So if he's able to do that and send a ball in, which Reece Nelson can score, or like any other person can score for that matter, why would you really want to worry about like your striker not getting the goals? Yes, the goals are going to come. I think people are just like taking this fact that at Manchester City he was never a prolific goal scorer, and they're just extrapolating that into here, saying that yes, we did make a bad buy because everyone wants to jump on us right now. People are waiting to say that you've made a bad buy in Jesus. Well, it's not the case. Like it's about the integration of the team. It's about the way in which we play the game as a team. When you're having 31 goals, you want the goals to be distributed across and not just coming from one person. That is not the mark of a good team. Those type of football doesn't exist anymore when you have one striker scoring 25 goals and the rest of the team put together scores 50 goals or 20 goals or something. Right now, everybody is contributing. You want all of your avenues to score 15 goals at least in a season. And he is right on track for that. So I don't see any reason why there should be any panic. Again, I hate this short-sightedness of 10 games judging things, judging people. It's a 38-game marathon. A lot of things are going to change. So I'm not worried about that at all.
Awesome.
Because like before you're going to finishing or like to the other topics, one this thing like say people doesn't question Sancho's price or like Sancho not playing well. They doesn't question Grealish, who was bought for 100 million, like for keeping in bench, and like he hasn't done anything like what he has done in Aston Villa. Or they don't talk about like Liverpool going out of the top six, Newcastle literally replacing them. Anything Arsenal does, like people come and they think because Arsenal's fans are also like that. And anything they say as negative, right, like will become a huge hit commercially or like even in social media. If somebody wants a like, right, or somebody wants like a lot of retweets, they just have to say something about Arsenal.
And we should do that too, I guess. That's where our viewership will
No,
come
you
from.
should not praise Arsenal. You should not praise Arsenal. You should like criticize Arsenal. Then only it will become a viral.
Yeah, we would probably like AFTV, who knows?
He would never be like that. The whole idea is to have a couple of friends come and talk about Arsenal like we used to. So we would never do that kind of a criticism. But guys, it's been amazing to talk about this 5-0 victory. I know we are late, but still, it's amazing to talk about it after so many days. Even having the memories of all those things fresh in our mind. I would say some of my fears have been put to rest a little bit from talking
I'm
to you
glad.
guys today. But I mean, that has not taken the cynic in me out completely. I'm still waiting for things to go wrong, but but at this
Because
moment,
maybe I'll add one thing here that might help you.
okay.
Now, I'm not sure whether you saw David Seaman's comment. They said like Nottingham Forest players they were afraid to play against our wingers.
Yeah.
So that means, right, like we have started terrorizing other defense or other teams.
The low block teams.
Yeah,
The low block
which
teams.
is what City used to do, and we praise City for that. And that is happening with Arsenal now. So there's a big change is happening. Like nobody comes and says these kind of things in open unless it has genuinely been shared.
So that's a on that note, I'll say thank you to both of you to coming in, making me feel a little bit more positive, and hopefully we'll talk again after the victory against who are we playing
Zurich.
again? Zurich. Yeah, and we will also do a preview of Chelsea. So thank you guys. Thank you again for joining in. Talk to you
Thanks
soon.
a lot. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks,
Pleasure as
Vikas, sir.
always.
Thanks,
Bye.
Arun.